Alright, so open up your Vex Robot C. Opens up something like this. I just push X out of that. And you're going to come over here and you're going to do File New. Motor Sensor Setup. Most of you guys have 4 motors, but some of you only have 2. Before you do that, let's go over here and make sure that yours probably didn't save as natural language is checked. Vex Cortex. Make sure that's done right now. Now go to the motor sensor setup. Let's go to motors. Most of you using the Vex 393, you're using 4. Alright. I suggest you use 2. So most of these you're only gonna have to do right front and right back. So I'm gonna say right side, or right. Let's do right motor, and then we'll do left motor. Okay. And we'll apply that. And then we'll have a digital sensor, and most of you are just using a single limiter switch. Some of you I know are using the 2 in the front. So let's call it the limit switch. Okay, and we'll apply that. So that's that. Alright, now we're going to set this in a while loop. And we're going to set it in a while loop which the condition is always true. And what that's going to do is that's going to have it so the while loop will run continuously without ever stopping. Alright, and we're going to say while that, and then we might say and until, so we go to natural language here, until you can do until touch, and you could even go back in here, and I suggest use bump switch. Okay, and we'll call it a touch sensor as well. You apply that. So there you go, until bump switch. So it'll wait. This will be our start thing. Alright. Alright, so it won't run until I touch that button. Then it's gonna game on, it's going. Alright. So now we got an if we gotta set a condition here. We're gonna say sensor variable sensor value, and we're gonna give it that limit switch. We'll call it that. Okay, equals 1, so that meaning that it's been pressed. It's going to run, we're going to call this the turn sequence. So I'm even going to put this here. We're going to say run turn program. Okay, so it'll go through and it'll say, it will stop motor. Okay, and I did forget something. I'm going to go back and put it in there. And we're going to put it at the right motor. It's going to need a stop. Stop motor. Left motor. And I usually suggest that we wait a second after that happens, so then we wait 1 second, then we put them both in start motor. We'll put them in the right motor. Yeah, we'll put it start. So notice if you have 2 motors on each side that you're going to have to go and start and stop right front, right back, right. So that the right's probably going to have 2 motors and the left's going to have 2 motors now. So as you can see, by not using the gears, you're going to do a lot of extra typing. Alright, and that's okay, it'll still work, it just, you did it a little different. Alright, so we stop, we started the right motor, and when you start them, you need to put them in a speed, and I believe that it's 126 is almost full speed, just under it. Alright, but we actually are going to want them to go negative because we're going to want to reverse them. So it's, what we're saying here is it's hit something, okay, that motor's been hit, it stops them both immediately, waiting a second, puts them in that. Now it's going to wait. It's going to wait 2 seconds. So the motor's going to run for 2 seconds now. And then I am just going to copy Alright, I just copied and pasted that there to save time. Okay, and then next I'm going to wait a second because I just think that you should wait, you know, some time in between things just so you can see it happening. Helps with troubleshooting and all that above. And then we're going to start motor, and we're going to start the, so if I want to take a right turn, I'm going to start the left motor. Alright, so that means if I want to take a left turn, I'm going to start the right motor. So I'm going to want to take a right turn because that's what I feel like going. So I'm going to start motor, left motor. Okay, and I'm going to start that now in the forward direction, so 126. Alright, and I think it's going to take me about 1.5 seconds to get around that turn. So I'm going to make it wait 1.5 seconds. Then I can go ahead and stop that motor and start them both up together, or I can just start the motor, right motor. Alright, 126, and that's it, game on. Alright, now my else code. So now I'm going to back up a little bit. And this is just so I keep these things in line here. So I like to keep things in line. And the else code, else, and I can put in here, don't forget the curly brackets. I am going to start motor. I'm just going to copy that actually. Just going to take this out. Else, I'm going to want it to start motor here, Control C, Control V to paste, to copy and paste those two things there. And I want them to go forward the whole time. Alright. And so if that motor doesn't get hit, it's just going to run. So every time it gets hit, it's going to back up for 2 seconds. It's going to turn right, and then it's going to go. And until that gets hit again. Alright, now I think I also need another curly bracket to end that. And I'm going to need a curly bracket to end that else if code right there. And I just like to put these in separate lines just so I can see it a little better. And that's my while loop code. So let's see if we can see that a little better now. Let's make sure everything works kosher. Save it as sample. File. And I'm personally going to save it to my desktop because that's just where I save things. And and for some reason it just wants to have sensors that even though I dragged it over, you saw that. For some reason it just likes that. So now it'll run. Alright, so it's going to go turn or it's going to go straight. Okay, if there's any questions, or if you have different motors, for example, you have 2 motors in each one, you're going to have to add more code to it.